Hey everybody, so today we are going to be talking about sequencing. But before we get into that, I want to ask you guys a question, okay? So does anyone's parents go hunting or anything like that? Yes? Okay, can you tell the rest of the group a little bit about that, like what's involved and everything? Does your dad go hunting?
I went with him one time.
No way!
We almost got one, but I couldn't get to the trigger in time to get him. He let me shoot him.
Oh my
But
goodness!
I couldn't get to the trigger in time.
Wow,
Sad.
that is crazy. So that's really interesting. I think you're gonna love what we're talking about today. And if y'all can't relate exactly to that, if y'all know what hunting involves, it means like going out and gathering food.
You have
and
to
things like that.
concentrate and be quiet so they'll come to you.
Yes, and you have to be a really good shot. So basically what we're talking about today is a woman named Annie Oakley. Have you ever heard about her?
No.
Well, you're gonna learn a whole lot about her. She was a sharpshooter, which means she was very handy with a gun. She could shoot anything from miles away. She could hit a target from so far, maybe not miles, but from a really far way away. Okay, so she was a big deal back in her day. So we're gonna learn about her, but before we do that, I kind of want to introduce sequencing a little bit. So another question. What is y'all's favorite cereal? Do y'all like to eat cereal? Yeah?
Yep.
I love to eat cereal. So my favorite is probably Frosted Flakes. Do y'all like Frosted Flakes?
My favorite's Cocoa Puffs.
Cocoa Puffs? Good.
My favorite's Lucky Charm Unicorn.
Oh, that's a good one. I like
Yeah.
how specific that
I've
is.
got two. It's Cocoa Puff like her and the chocolate flavor.
Mm.
And Lucky Charm Unicorn.
That is so yummy. Y'all have some really good flavor choices. I like that. That's
I
really
love
cool.
Cocoa Puffs.
That's awesome. So the reason why I asked that is because when you get out and start like pouring your cereal, it's important to do it in the exact sequence that you need to. So if I got out the milk and started pouring before I even got my bowl out, would that be bad?
Yes.
Yes. What do you think would happen to the milk?
It's spilled on the grass.
It would spill everywhere, right? And I wouldn't get to eat my cereal, right?
No, you have to eat it on the table.
Exactly. So it's really important to do things in sequence, okay? So sequencing, can someone read this for me? Jessica?
It's putting things in order in which they happen.
Very good, good job. So, do y'all remember the 3 clues that we talked about yesterday? Oh, I see some hands. Okay, what do you think? Date, so that was 1 clue because y'all are really good detectives. All right, what do you think? Times, very good, Mackenzie. Okay, Doris?
Clue words.
Clue words, awesome. I'm gonna give you 2 a chance to get some of those clue words. So, Layla, do you have any clue words that you could think of?
It would be like, maybe the story was about the Titanic like we read yesterday.
Yeah.
And maybe it had a date.
A date? Okay, so yes, very good. I think that's what April said too, right? A date? Very good, good job. So, but can y'all think of any transitional sequencing clue words? Maybe that'll give y'all a hint. Jessica? Next. Finally. Last. First. Very good. And there's one more I'm thinking of. I think it's then. I actually don't have that up here, but yes, very good. Good job, you guys. So those are some of our clue words. So guess what? Today we get to be detectives again.
Yes.
So you guys are going to be looking through the text, using our clues like good detectives do, and y'all are going to be figuring out the events in the story. But today, you know, it's a little different. We're going to sequence them, and we're going to do a really fun activity. Okay?
Can we around the room?
That would be really fun, but not today.
No.
But that sounds really fun. So, good thing, everything that we're looking for will be right here. So, how do you think? Oh, before I do that, I want you guys to kind of partner up. So I have these 2 envelopes. So I'll partner you guys up actually. So you 3 work together and then you 2 work together, okay? So here's your super top secret envelope. What I want you guys to do is put these events in order. So, for example, if I were to get this out, it's all an event.
Show us.
It's all the same. Y'all both have the same things. But what it is someone pouring milk and cereal into a bowl. So what do you think the first thing, we already went over this, what do you think the first thing is that I would have to do in that sequence?
Get a bowl.
Get a bowl. So you know what? I'm going to pick out my bowl picture. I'm going to sit it right there, and then I'm going to find out the next thing I'm going to do, okay? But I'm going to let you guys do it on your own as partners. So y'all go ahead and figure that out, and here's y'all's.
Bowl. Camille. No, it's the same one.
Wait, why is there two bowls?
I thought it was
Miss Learmore, there's two bowls.
Interesting. Is there a difference between the two bowls?
Yeah, one's smaller, one's bigger.
Well, look at the top.
There's two
Do you see something in this bowl?
Yes.
Oh yeah, now
I don't know though. I can't.
cereal.
Then we need the
Cereal.
Let's get two cereal bowls.
We're
We're gonna add
gonna
cereal to both of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
the cereal.
it's not very clear. There's a difference between these two bowls.
For the cereal.
Well, can you see what's on the top of this bowl versus the top of this bowl?
Got it.
That one's bigger.
That one is
What does that
the other
have?
one has milk.
It has milk and what?
Both.
Milk and cereal. So that might be a hint.
We finished
Very
it
good.
first.
Okay, let's
Then
wait
you
quietly
wait for
and respectfully for the rest of our
Wait, you
friends
didn't
to
get
get
the
done.
cereal.
Yeah, y'all can check.
And then the cereal, get the
Y'all can do
milk,
it again if you
and
want.
then you pour the cereal
Okay.
in, and then you pour
This
the
is
milk
easy.
in, and
Milk,
then you
pour.
that, and then
Where's the cereal?
eat it.
Cereal.
Yay, we did
Good
it.
job. Okay. Good job. Okay. So once they get situated,
We already finished.
very good. Good job. So what I want you guys to do now is I want you guys to go through the sequence for me because I haven't done this. So I want you guys to teach me on how you sequence these parts. So we can do it all together actually since we all did the same thing. So what was the first thing that you do?
Get a bowl.
Get a bowl.
Get a
Okay.
spoon.
And a spoon. Very good,
You
lady.
gotta have a spoon to eat. You can't just
True. Very true. Second, what do I do?
get a cereal. Get milk.
Okay, get milk. You said get milk and get cereal. So y'all both kind of did that. You did milk. Y'all did cereal. That's okay. Okay, third.
Pour the milk in the bowl.
Pour the cereal.
Okay, that works. That works. Okay, fourth.
Get the cereal.
Get the cereal.
Pour milk.
Pour milk. Okay, both of these work. It's good. Five.
Pour the cereal.
Pour the milk. Very good. Y'all are just flip flop. That's okay. Six.
Eat. Get the other one. Get the other plate.
Okay.
No, pour. Get all
No,
the
you
cereal.
do you look at the cereal? Look at the cereal.
You look at the
I
cereal.
already saw that.
Yeah, so this cereal is, I know this is a little hard because it's small, but this cereal is full. So basically this picture is just showing you that your cereal bowl is full. Okay.
You're just like looking
Yeah,
at
and
it.
you're just looking
And then
at
you're
it.
like, and then you eat.
So everybody, what's the last one?
You eat it.
You eat it, that's the best part, right?
Yeah.
So I have a quick question for you guys. Why do you think I had y'all do this activity?
Because we're detectives.
Because you're detectives, but
And it helps you with your sequencing.
it helps you with your sequencing. Very good. Okay, let me get you to elaborate a little bit on that. How do you think that this relates to sequencing with the text?
Because like it's just the pictures of it, and it's doing it. It's sort of doing it with the pictures.
It shows you like
in the text, you would just get the text and write it on a piece of paper, and then like.
Yes. So you remember when we highlighted events yesterday? Do you think, how does highlighting events and figuring out those events, how would that relate to what we just did?
Because you're putting them in order to tell you how you're supposed to do it.
Very good. So y'all are kind of getting it. So we're gonna build a little bit more on y'all's background knowledge, but this was like a little bit of a warm up, okay? So we're actually about to do this exact same thing except with our text. So I love the way you are thinking. This is really good. So y'all can go ahead and put up your little sheets of paper and put them in your envelope. Yeah, it is. Good job.
Let's let each one of us put one. You put one in, let Mackenzie put one.
Very good.
My method is Mackenzie. I have another method.
those things inside were cereal.
Finally, we have a shorter story.
Very good. Good job. Okay, girls, I know to hurry.
We're putting them in
All right.
top of it.
Y'all are doing good. Wonderful. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are doing such a good job. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this is the real detective part, okay? So think of these as your flashlights. Okay, so what does a flashlight do?
It helps you see.
It helps you see, right? So think of this highlighter as your flashlight. We are looking for what? What are we looking for? What did we do yesterday? We're looking for sequencing, but what helps us see? What are we sequencing?
We're clues.
Clues.
I found
Give me a little bit more.
Clue words.
Clue words.
Like place, plus, finally, next, and then.
Yes.
Dates, times,
And clue words. Way to elaborate on that. Very, very good. So this is what we're looking for. What clues, what are these going to show us? What's the main, why do we even have clues? What are we looking for though?
The sequencing.
What were we differentiating between yesterday?
We were putting things in order.
But what were we putting in order?
The story, Titanic,
The story, the Titanic.
the minor details,
and
What was the other one?
the main idea.
The main
event.
The main events. Yeah, you helped her figure it out. Very good. Good job. You guys give yourselves a pat on the back. Main events. That's what we're really looking for. But the clues are going to help us figure out the main events. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to read aloud, and what you guys are going to do is when you see a clue right up here, I want you guys to use your flashlights like good detectives. I want you to highlight that clue or that event. Wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Phoebe Ann Mosey was born on a small farm near Woodland, Ohio on August 13th, 1860. Stop. Okay, if I were you guys, I would think to myself, okay, what are my clues? Dates times clue words. Oh, right here I see a date. So I would use my highlighter to highlight that entire event. Phoebe Ann Mosey was born on a small farm near Woodland, Ohio on August 13th. Because time to use the flashlight. Very good, Jessica. So y'all go ahead and highlight that. And I'm not going to stop next time, so y'all figure out those clues like good detectives, and I'm going to keep on going, okay? Her family was poor, but she had a happy childhood growing up in a small log cabin with her 6 brothers and sisters. Everybody called her by nickname, Annie. Annie learned to hunt game. She was able to feed her family and help her mother pay the bills by selling game to restaurants and hotels. With all this practice, Annie became an excellent shot. Then, at the age of 15, Annie entered a shooting contest in Cincinnati. She took on a traveling sharpshooter named Frank Butler. The two shooters took turns shooting over 20 times. Each time, both hit the target. Finally, Frank Butler missed, but Annie hit. The little country girl had beaten the famous sharpshooter. This was the start of something big. After the contest, Frank and Annie became friends. Soon they were courting, and they eventually got married. Annie began to travel with Frank and perform shooting expositions. But it was during this time that she became known as Annie Oakley. Annie performed all sorts of amazing tricks during the shooting, including shooting a cigarette from her husband's lips, hitting dimes thrown into the air, and splitting a playing card at the edge. Okay, pause. How cool is that, right? Can you imagine shooting a cigarette from somebody's lips or hitting dimes thrown into the air? Do you know how small a dime is? That's the smallest coin that there is. So she had to be really good, didn't she? Yeah, she's pretty cool. She would put out burning candles and shoot the corks off of bottles. Some of these tricks she would perform while standing on the back of a galloping horse. Her ability with a gun was truly amazing. As part of the Buffalo Bill Wild West show, Annie became very famous. She traveled to Europe where she performed in the Paris Exposition in 1889. She also performed for many famous European leaders like Queen Victoria of England and Kaiser William II of Germany. In 1901, Annie was injured in a train accident. Not long after she retired from the Wild West show, she continued to work as an actress and writer until she died on November 3rd, 1926 at the age of 66. Okay. I know. So I'm going to give y'all a second.
I've already done it.
It looks like y'all got it. Okay.
When she did the tricks, you have to practice before you do them.
Oh, most definitely. I bet. And that's something that you can relate to. I'm sure that there's a trick or something that you wanted to learn that you really had to practice, right? Yeah.
Just my back tucks and my front tucks.
Very good. So y'all can really relate to Annie Oakley in a lot of ways because you've had to practice something that you had to get really good at, right? What's something that you've had to practice at to get really good at, Mackenzie? What do you think? Like a sport, volleyball. You were talking about volleyball earlier. Is that something you'd have to practice to get really good at? Mm-hmm. Very good.
Avery, my friend Avery does volleyball.
That's so cool. That's awesome. So y'all can connect to each other. That's great. So, since y'all are such good detectives, I can see a lot of your flashlights going off on this page. So, can someone raise their hand and tell me what was the first event that they found? April?
Okay, that one we already stayed.
Okay. Can you read it for me?
Okay. Baby Ed Mosey was born on a small farm near Woodland, Ohio on August 13, 1860.
Very good.
The Aya found a Paris explosion in 1886.
Very good. So, can everyone see that the second one she found was under Becoming Famous, that paragraph. And it says she traveled to Europe where she performed in the Paris Exposition in 1889. So why did you say that was, those were both events?
Because they have dates.
They have dates. Very good. Good job. And so right now we are not drawn with the highlighters, just to be clear. We're just highlighting, okay? So what is another event that y'all found? Okay, I want to hear from some other girls. Doris?
In 1901, that's the date.
1901. Okay, I want to hear more about the event. So what happened in 1901?
Annie was injured in a train accident.
Very good. So I want you guys to highlight the whole thing because I want to know about the event.
This whole thing?
In 1901, Annie was injured in a train accident. So just that one sentence. Yeah, so right there, you're good. You're good. You just highlight a little bit more. That's okay. Okay, what is another one? Jessica, I saw your hand raised. You got something? Okay.
She continued to work as actress and writer until she died on November 3rd, 1926 at the age of 66.
Very good. So she is at the very last sentence under later life and death. And why did you think that was an important event?
Because it has the date.
It has a date. That's one of our clues, right? Y'all are really good detectives. Okay, so I see a few more, and they're harder because they don't have clues in them.
Oh.
Okay, so remember we were talking about how not all the time are they going to have clues. So I want y'all to think about important events in the life of a person. So think about some important events that happened in Annie's life. Hold on, but I want you guys to raise your hand. Raise your hand, Layla.
Well, two clues that I found was
Then and finally, that is really good. So let's.
They're right here. Then and finally.
Good eye, detective. Very good. So then, she said, then at the age of 15, Annie entered a shooting contest in Cincinnati. You did? I want you to share in just a second. But first, I need everybody's eyes right here. Everybody's eyes.
I couldn't find
Okay, everybody's eyes. We'll find it in just a second. So, do y'all see then at the age of 15, Annie entered a shooting contest in Cincinnati? Do y'all see that?
Yeah.
Do y'all think that's a major event or a minor detail? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do you think it was important? Think about the event itself. Think about her entering into a shooting contest. What happened in that shooting contest?
She won.
She won. So do you think that was a major event in her life?
Yes.
Yes. So I would highlight, then at the age of 15, Annie entered a shooting contest in Cincinnati.
Where's that at again?
That is right where you highlighted
She
then.
took on the traveling shooter.
Very good. And then this is a little bit trickier, okay? So do y'all see where it says the little country girl had beaten the famous sharpshooter?
Yeah.
I would say that kind of goes with what we were talking about in this one. So I would even highlight that too, even though it doesn't all go together.
Well, that is big.
It is big that she beat him, right?
Yeah.
And that's a part of the fact that she. What were you gonna say?
And she that was big because she was poor.
Yeah, because she was poor, right? That is a really good observation. I didn't even think about that. Good job. So, next thing, I see an event, a major life event, right after that paragraph. So y'all look. After the contest, Frank and Annie became friends. Soon they were courting and they eventually got married. Annie began to travel with Frank and perform shooting expositions. It was during this time that she became known as Annie Oakley. What was a major life event in that paragraph?
She won the person who lost, and she won. They became friends, and then they got married.
Okay, out of everything you just said, what do you think is the most important thing out of everything you just said? I need y'all to listen. Y'all listen to Doris real quick.
They became friends.
They became friends, and then what happened?
They got married.
They got married. Do you think it's more important that they became friends or they got married?
Soon they got
married, right?
They were courting,
Yes.
and they eventually got married. I like that whole thing.
Oh yeah. So I want you girls to highlight and they eventually got married because that's a very important event in Annie Oakley's life. Jessica?
Share what I found with the last one.
Ooh, okay, yes. Share with me.
After, right beside the contest.
Ooh, very good.
And it doesn't even say there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good job. So after, that is a very clue word. Yes, very good. And that kind of leads us into the part where it says, and they eventually got married, right? That kind of like signals us, hey, there's a really major event coming up. Good job. So I see 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think y'all got all of them. So now I want us to do our final activity. So y'all are gonna probably need these. So do y'all know what a timeline is?
Yes. I think it's like a straight line.
Yes, it's a straight line.
It's
And Layla, can you elaborate on what she just said? It's a straight line.
a line that shows your whole life.
It's a line that shows your whole life. Very good. Good job working together. So what I want y'all to do is make a human timeline. Okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take it a little bit of a step further.
Are we gonna have to do it with her? Like, are we gonna have to do it with Annie Oakley, or can we do it without?
Well, oh yeah, so y'all are gonna be the events. So I'll explain.
Like,
So
once you were a baby to you are now, like with
Oh.
first day of school.
I know what you're talking about. Okay, I'll explain it real quick. I think it'll answer your question. So everybody, look at me. Everybody up. This is gonna be really fun. So I'm gonna get y'all up on your feet in a second. I'm gonna give y'all a note card, and you won't know what note card I'm giving you. Some of you might get 2. And what I want y'all to do is these are all events in Annie Oakley's life. So they're all highlighted right here. We just found all the events. But I want y'all to put them in order. So I'm gonna give you 1 or 2 events. And actually, I'm just gonna give everyone 1 so it doesn't get confusing. And I want y'all, so let's say I have the event of Annie being born. So where do y'all think I'm gonna go?
First.
I'm gonna go first, right? So whoever has the event that comes right after that, which would be her entering a shooting contest, they would stand right here because they come after me. Does that kind of make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So now that I've kind of modeled it for you, I want y'all to, once I give you your index card, I don't want you to look at it yet, and then we'll do the big reveal, okay? All right, and then I'll have 2 extra, and we can do those together and figure out where they go, okay? So ready? 1, 2, 3.
I got when she was born.
Okay, so I want you girls to go out and come right here. And we're gonna make a line. And y'all are gonna have to talk a lot. You might even want to bring your text. Okay?
I got when she was born.
I want you to bring your, no, you might need your text. So get your text real quick to help you. I switched text too. And I want y'all to make a human timeline. So you're gonna get an order of where to go. So what do y'all think y'all gotta do?
I gotta be the first one because that was when she was born.
Okay,
And
good.
I
So
gotta be the
Bailey.
last one because this has been in 901 and Amy was injured in a train accident.
Okay, do you think, is that the very last one?
No.
Oh, good. But you know that you're gonna go at the end. Very good.
I
So,
don't know which one I'm gonna go to because it's
Is
Frank
this one
and Amy was
Is
born.
this
Okay.
where the
First one goes, or is this where the last one?
first one can go right here. So, she was born. What happens after she's born?
She's going next. She goes next. Then
Okay.
at the age of 15, Amy earned a shooting contest in
Okay. Annie Oakley beat Frank Butler, a famous sharpshooter, in a contest.
she's going next.
Okay. So, do you think that was after she learned how to hunt? What do y'all think?
Yes.
Yes. Very good.
Here.
Good. You used your text to figure it out. Very good.
But we didn't underline that.
That's okay. That's okay. That could be an event. So 1, 2, y'all are good. Jessica, what are you?
And Frank and Amy were
Oh, you got the sweet one. Okay. Okay. So y'all are doing such a good job. Now we have 2 events that y'all don't know where they're going to go yet. So y'all need help to figure them out. Okay. So first one is Annie Oakley performed in the Paris Exposition in 1889. Where is that going to go?
She even went
Before what event?
right here.
Before they got married or after?
After.
After. Let me see. Let me make
It's
sure.
on this paragraph.
Oh, y'all are so good. So Jessica, hold it in your left hand, I guess, since it comes after. Okay, y'all ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what it is. Annie Oakley, oh, this is an easy one. Annie Oakley died on November 3rd, 1926.
Give it.
She was 66 years old.
Give it before.
Does it go before or after? After. Very good. I love that. Y'all are using the before and afterwards. Those are really good. So let's go through, before y'all move, let's go through and everyone read their card aloud. So,
Annie was born on August 13, 1860.
very good.
Annie learned to hunt game. Annie Oakley beat Frank Butler and a famous sharpshooter in a shooting contest. Frank and Annie were married. Annie Oakley performed in the Paris Exposition in
Exposition.
1889.
Good job.
In 1901, Amy was injured in a train accident. Annie Oakley died on November 3rd, 1926. She was 66 years old.
Good. Good job. Y'all are awesome. Okay, so I have y'all's very good. So I have y'all's exit tickets. Y'all are going to do these individually. Y'all can come on back. Exit tickets. And if you want, I'll take up y'all can put the note cards and the highlighters in here. All you need is your pencil and the text. Okay?
This is just one. Is it just one question or is that a bunch?
There are 4 questions, and I can go over them with you guys. I'm going to kind of model one before you get started. So, I'll do the example with y'all. So, everybody pencils down. I love that y'all are getting started, but pencils down. Y'all can do it.
I wrote my name.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So, what event happened before Annie got married but after she learned how to hunt game? Okay? So, what event happened before Annie got married but after she learned how to hunt game? Okay, I'm going to look at my text. You remember how we talked about the Oreo? How you look. I give you the 2 cookies, and then y'all look for the frosting, okay? So y'all are good detectives. Y'all are going to look for the frosting, okay? So the 2 cookies are before Annie got married, but after she learned how to hunt game. So I'm gonna look for the event of when they got married. There it is. Before Annie got married, but after. Oh, I found where she learned how to hunt game. Hold on. I love that you found it. That's awesome. And oh, I think I found it. Then, is this what you had, April? Then at the age of 15, Annie entered a shooting contest in Cincinnati. The little girl had beaten the famous sharpshooter. Is that what you had? Very good.
For mine, it already just says it up here.
Oh, great.
It says Annie won against Frank Butler in the shooting contest.
Perfect. It was right here the whole time. So I didn't have to do that much work, I guess, but I did. So that's exactly what y'all are gonna do, and y'all are gonna work independently, which means what? Quietly. Very good. If you have a question, you can raise your hand, okay? Y'all are doing good. This is the last thing y'all are gonna do for me today. Y'all did a great job.
She got it under it.
Yes, ma'am. Look at the text. Where are you gonna look? Okay, what happens right before? Very good. So you'll just write that right. Good job. If you have other questions, don't be afraid to raise your hand, okay? Y'all are doing such a good job. You found that because you were looking for a clue, right? Good job. But I think I see another clue that comes a little bit closer to what you got. What do you think? Read it for me.
In 1901, Annie was injured in a train accident.
Okay, do you see why that would be the answer instead of that one? Why?
Because it's close to November 3, 1926. At the age of 60, she died.
Yes, that's what the question's asking for. But I love how you look for the clues. That's exactly where you're supposed to be. Yeah, good job. So you're going to erase that and then write what was that. Shooting contest in Cincinnati. So this is a little tricky because the event is the shooting contest in Cincinnati. So that whole event includes her winning the contest. Does that kind sense? So, what happened after the contest? Keep reading this. Okay. Read this. So after the contest, I want you to keep reading that. I interrupted you. I'm sorry. So what do you think? I think you're right. Good job.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. I hope you all had a wonderful day.